Neon Mirage, Part 1. Florida is full of strange places, forgotten roads, abandoned buildings, old motels that were left behind when the highways changed. Most of them slowly rot away under the heat and the salt air. But somewhere along a quiet coastal road in South Florida, there is a motel that refuses to disappear. Locals call it the Neon Hotel, and according to county records, it hasn't been open since the late 1980s. In 2002, insurance investigator Valerie Knox was assigned a strange case. An old property claim had been reopened involving the abandoned motel. The request didn't make much sense. The hotel had been closed for more than 15 years, and the property itself had already been declared a total loss after a series of storm damages. Still, someone had filed paperwork asking for a new inspection. Valerie received the case file late one afternoon. It was thinner than most reports she handled. Inside the folder were only a few photographs of the motel taken years earlier. Broken windows, rusted railings, a faded sign standing over the parking lot. But one thing stood out. Tucked between the pages was an inspection report from another investigator who had visited the property before her. At the bottom of the page, someone had written a short note by hand. Just 4 words. The lights should not work. Valerie assumed it was a joke. Maybe the previous inspector had been bored or trying to be funny. But the next evening, she drove out to the location anyway. The motel sat far from the main highway, down a long road surrounded by palm trees and dark stretches of coastal marsh. There were no houses nearby, no traffic, just the sound of wind moving through the trees and the distant hum of insects. When Valerie finally saw the building, it looked exactly like the photographs in the file. A small, 2-story roadside motel. The paint was peeling. Several windows were shattered. The balcony rails were covered in rust. It looked like the kind of place that had been forgotten decades ago. Valerie almost turned the car around. Then something flickered above the building. The old neon sign standing over the entrance suddenly buzzed to life. The letters lit up slowly in the darkness. First one, then another, until the entire sign glowed bright against the night sky. Neon Hotel. And just below it, a smaller word flickered on. Vacancy. Valerie sat in her car staring at the sign. According to the county utilities report, the power to the building had been disconnected in 1987. There were no electrical lines running into the motel anymore, no generator, no lights inside the rooms. But the neon sign kept buzzing softly in the dark, like it had never been turned off. Valerie stepped out of the car and looked toward the second floor of the building. Every window was black. Every room looked empty, until one of the curtains moved, just slightly, like someone inside had stepped away from the window. But the Neon Hotel had been abandoned for 15 years.